Eric Bakker, Naturopath. The question, sorry about that, a bit of a hiccup. The question is bee venom good for Candida? Well, being a beekeeper, it's not nice being stung. Everyone's probably at some stage had a bee sting, but I've had a lot of bee stings, and sometimes 2 or 3 at a time. In fact, one case I had about 7 bee stings around the neck when my suit, when I first started, I didn't have the zip up properly with my veil over, and the bees got in, and a lot of bee stings around the neck. It's not really a nice experience. The thing with bee keeping is when you get experience, you start to learn that you've got to be gentle and quiet around the bees, and then they in turn are gentle and quiet. So, but does it help your immune system? Is it good to have a bee sting occasionally? Does it stimulate your immune response? I believe it is fantastic for the immune system to occasionally have a bee sting, because it gets your immune system propped up. It rallies up a strong response. It helps to balance different parts of your immune system. And it provides your ability for your immune system to counter, respond, on a regular basis. So if I get a bee sting here or there, I'm not too worried about it. I'm getting used to them, and I try and use bare hands around beekeeping. Studies I've read show that it certainly helps people with allergies. So, getting the occasional bee sting will push up your allergic responses, but then balance them out. So apitherapy, or bee sting therapy in some countries, is used for arthritis, for food allergies, and even for multiple sclerosis, different conditions. China has a lot of experience with apitherapy, but many other countries are following suit now. So I'm not suggesting you go out and get stung by a bee, but if you do get stung, it's not necessarily bad. Some people, though, can die from bee stings. They can get anaphylactic, shock or reactions, but those things are quite rare. But they can occur occasionally. So don't be alarmed if you're stung by a bee. Try and get the stinger out with your fingernail if you can, to stop the venom being pumped in. So if you can get that stinger out quickly. Now remember also, if you're around a lot of bees and you get stung, not to panic, okay? Is if you swat bees and you hit that one on your hand, try and get it off, it's going to create a pheromone or a chemical, especially more gets pumped out around the sting site, and then more bees will come. So it's not impossible to get stung a dozen times that way. So it's all about calmness and quietness. And that's what beekeeping's taught me quite a lot. So honey's fantastic for the body. It's really good, especially if you're getting a really good raw kind of honey that hasn't been heated up. So I recommend the consumption of honey products regularly, if you can. But the apitherapy itself is not really going to do much for parasites or Candida, but it will definitely help to balance your immune system's response. That's certainly worth it. And Manuka honey from New Zealand, I'm definitely a fan of that in small amounts. I think it's a great food if you can afford it. Thanks for tuning in.